It's containing COVID. Wanted to bring on Tom and Andrew of APEC Disinfecting and Cleaning Services to kind of share with our audience here some of the things that they're doing. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Let me get you. Sorry, you get situated here.
Well, I was gonna say, are you taking a selfie of us? Because you had that whole thing for a second.
Multitasking.
It is right. So we'll bring them on. Tom, Andrew, you guys there? Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, boys.
Good morning, Chris.
Let's just get right into it, man. So APEC, you guys offer a ton of services, and I think that there's probably a big demand for disinfecting and cleaning, not just because we're seeing more businesses reopen as we slide down the PCOR scale, but also because businesses that have been open are disinfecting, not just for the employees, but for the customers too, right?
That's correct. Absolutely. Yeah. First of all, I think the businesses want an assurance that they can present to their clients that we've been disinfected, we're safe to come in regarding a potential COVID reinfection, and also for their employees. As their employees come back into the workspace, they want to feel comfortable that their workspace is disinfected and safe in regard to disinfection, with COVID in mind.
Guys, Jason Salas here. Thanks for joining us again. And I've got a question. The governor has said that, obviously we're moving in a phased approach to hopefully what will be a full reopening of the island in the next few months. But are there certain industries that you have seen have more of a response, like office buildings, dental offices, obviously with restaurants and places like that? But as far as specific types of businesses, what are you guys seeing as far as requests for your services?
Andrew, I'll let you address that one.
So a lot of the businesses that have approached us are a lot of the retail or the bigger malls and restaurants, if you will. There are other industries that allow us or kind of inquired with us, i.e. the hotels, the restaurants, and I mean just the places that are anticipating a big influx of customers that are becoming into the into their business as they open up and go into 100% capacity, whenever that is.
Now, as far as the operations of your own business, what type of additional training have you had to have, and what type of research did you have to do in order to make sure that your own staff would go out there and apply the cleaning and disinfectant services safely? And is this equipment and gear that you already have, given the specific nature of COVID, or did you have to go out and buy all different types of infectants and chemicals?
I think what he's trying to say is this is kind of like a new. The disinfecting side of it, this is a new need that was created because of this pandemic. So, and unpacking what Jay said, it's how are you guys able to stand these great services up so quickly and at the same time while respecting and adhering to all of the different guidelines and protocols that relative to COVID?
I would like to address that first. Go ahead, Drew, if you don't mind. We've been in the business of providing environmental services for Guam and Saipan for 22 years. Wow. One of the services we've provided for a significant period of time are microbial remediation services in the form of mold remediation, which is it's a microbe, spores, etc. And we're professionally certified to do that, have the equipment for it. Some of that equipment, the approach is somewhat similar to the COVID. So when this came along, it was a natural segue. Wow. And there's actually 5 levels of training that the people that are doing the COVID disinfection have taken, including microbial disinfection certification, bloodborne pathogen, etc. And what we do is we make sure, in having done this, that not only do we disinfect effectively, and we follow an EPA written work plan protocol and use EPA disinfectants, but we also protect our workers safely from the products, because there's a lot of opportunity for respiratory distress using disinfection solutions, particularly if you mix them wrong, etc. So that is the perhaps longer answer, but and that is why. So it was a natural segue.
Wow. What about gear, man? I've seen some of the stuff you guys do, and it looks like you really have top of the line gear.
Drew?
Right. So what we have is an ultra low volume dual tank fogger. And what this allows us to kind of expend disinfectants throughout the areas without, so we actually do manual hand wiping on high touch surfaces and high touch areas. But these foggers allow us to get in places and kind of disperse the disinfectant further in a wider array of areas. And so, yeah, we did suit up, although, I kind of just piggyback on what Tom said. This was a natural evolution of what we already did. But we did have to get some additional foggers and other disinfectants specific to COVID. A lot of the stuff we already had was can neutralize COVID, but we wanted the literature there and actually CDC and US EPA to kind of say, and the actual text on the product that said it counters COVID-19. And so we did have to kind of get some of that supplies, but naturally we already were prepared with the PPE and the equipment ready to go.
Do you mainly provide commercial services, or do you also offer for residential services?
We actually, it's throughout. We're not biased. I know everybody.
Revenue's revenue, man.
Yeah, you're not biased because Jason's bedroom needs.
Oh yeah.
Right, and
That's a 3-day job.
We understand that everybody is trying to take the proper precautions and measures to counter COVID, and not just that. The disinfectants we have kind of attack a wide range of microbes, not necessarily just the COVID.
You guys get all the cooties.
Coronavirus. So, but absolutely, we're open to residential, commercial, and we're open for business to everyone.
Okay, I'm sorry, I've got one more question. So we talked about the application of your treatments, and you guys do thorough spraying and you do wiping, but of course, everybody's a COVID expert these days, right? And everybody's talking about the ultraviolet treatment and, like basically like the black light and everything. Does that actually apply in the situations and the specific environments that you guys go into?
I could address that at first, and the protocols that we've seen that are US EPA, CDC recommended, they do not, although the UV light will eventually kill various viruses and microbes, it is not directly as effective, nor quick, nor was it recommended by the US EPA protocols that we recommended. So that we have reviewed and go by.
I had a question. When you provide your services to commercial businesses and you do your disinfecting and your sanitization, is it like a one-time deal, or do you have to go in every day? How does this work?
True.
And so, yes, what we offer is we offer an initial and thorough disinfection for the business. And we often kind of have to gauge our reoccurring services based on the influx of customers and employees you have. Obviously, the more employees, the more customers that you gain or have would warrant more frequent of a visit. Whereas if you're just an office space and everyone's kind of practicing social distancing and all the kind of established protocols, then the frequency will be less and less, and that really caters, and it will be kind of relative to the type of business and industry you run to.
Right, and so if people want some of these different tiered services, or maybe they require frequent services, how do they get a hold of you guys? And we have viewers in the NMI too, so just anywhere around, how do they get a hold of APEC?
Right, and so just as Tom said, we have a location here on Guam and in Saipan, and we're mobile. They can reach us at 671-477-7310. We also have an emergency hotline at 671-858-2852. Our website is up and running. It's apecguam.net. And you can also reach us at apecguam@guam.net via email. And so we kind of monitor. We understand everybody has different needs and priorities. And we're geared up with the labor support and the amount of equipment to mobilize several teams simultaneously. So we can offer that as well.
I would like to add that once we do a disinfection, for the peace of mind of the folks that are in the facility or going to be entering that facility, we offer a sticker, a decal, kind of like when you have Chief Force Security or whatever.
Right.
And we indicate that the premises had been disinfected, provide a date for it by APEC according to specific protocols that can be placed in the window. And in addition, notice of that disinfection is also posted on the website. So somebody wants to find out, hey, if this restaurant, whatever, been disinfected, they could go to that website and find out if it is.
Well, I've got just one last question, just for me. This is Jason again, guys. One thing we like to do here on the show is we like to, celebrate, success stories, because obviously you guys are one of the key players that are helping businesses that are struggling right now and have really tough days ahead get back on their feet and get back to normal. So as a business for just your operations and everything like that, how has the uptake in jobs that you guys have had? How has that been? I'm sure you've had like a surge in business and everything. And have you had to actually add a headcount to be able to facilitate all of this this new business that you're getting?
Drew, you want to add that?
Yeah, absolutely. So our personnel, we haven't had we haven't kind of furloughed or shut down our teams. We have been deemed mission critical or mission essential. And so, however, the influx of work, because of the need for disinfection, we have kept our guys at work longer hours and odd days, and even on the weekends to satisfy the customer's needs. We've had a lot of responses to the federal government, DOD specifically, and to help them, counteract the effects of COVID. And so we have been going 100 miles per hour with all the guys we've had. We had to upgrade our labor support, so we brought in some other people to support us. But yeah, we've been going real hard since everything started, and we're continuing. And if I may just add, a lot of this is not just a plug for our business, but because we're local, we want to make sure that people are safe while they're doing this. Everybody wants to do the disinfection, but we want people to be safe and responsible. Mixing certain chemicals together can create toxic gases. People have to understand the exposure limits per chemical. And so we want to make sure that people are safe. And also to the employers out there, the business owners, you might want to take the initiative, right, to save money to kind of allow your employees to disinfect. However, I advise that they are properly trained with these chemicals, the appropriate PPE. For example, a respirator, you need a medical clearance, you need a fit test, you need a respiratory program by OSHA regulation and guidelines. Our experience allows us to be already ready to go for this. And again, we are the professionals. This is our bread and butter. And so we just advise everyone out there, we highly encourage disinfection, because I have family members. I don't want them to be going to a facility that hasn't been disinfected. However, I urge them to take the proper precautions to make sure your personnel is trained and they're safe and they know what chemicals they're using. Because I know recently, I think there was a cleaning team that were overly exposed to just using bleach, and one of them was unresponsive, and then it becomes life-threatening. Right. And so we want to just urge our community out there to be safe as they disinfect, and as we kind of journey through this COVID, pandemic, that they approach it in a smart and responsible way.
Well, guys, again, we wanted to just bring you on and let people hear what you guys got to offer as, we start to reopen more businesses and, residences as well are going to be looking at disinfecting. And we wanted to get you on because, like you said, it's your bread and butter. It's what you do. So thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Well done, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, Andrew. Thanks, Tom. Wash you guys' hands. Well, disinfect your hands.
There you
Right
go.
away.
You guys be safe.
Okay, you too. All right.
I don't think you have to tell them twice to
Yeah.
wash their hands.
They're like, wash our hands. That's passe. We don't wash
Yeah.
our hands. We do microbial remediation.
You're preaching to the choir right there, man. Those guys get that one-liner that you've now made famous. They get that on a completely different level.
Right, they do. Hey, it's 9:49. We're going to come back and end the show on a good note. Right here, it's the KUAM News Takeover, Guam's favorite, containing COVID. Good morning.
Keeping you informed, KUAM News brings you Banking 671.